Hi everyone, welcome to my first Sekiro guide video. I wanted to go over 3 possible locations for farming XP that are all late game. In this particular case it's going to be New Game Plus. I'm working on the final trophy, which is to essentially collect all of the skills, and it just takes a while to farm, and one of the most popular areas in the game to farm tends to be the Ashina Outskirts Wall Stairway. While I do like that area for farming, I wanted to show my version of that as well as a couple of other places that are alternatives if anybody's having a hard time farming that particular location. Sometimes those ministry soldiers can get the better of you and it can lead to certain death, which is not what you want because then you're having your available experience points and money. The first location I'm going to talk about is in the Fountainhead Palace, specifically the Flower Viewing Stage Sculptor Idol. While this one doesn't net a lot of experience, it's something that you can actually farm very easily and probably with the least amount of risk. Each run from the Sculptor Idol and back will only take about 1 minute and 20 seconds to complete. You'll only have to take out 5 enemies, and it will net 5,855 experience every time. What I like about this particular run is the low risk involved with it. As long as you take out the nobles that would normally cast Enfeeble on you, that's something that you can always get away from enemies if something goes awry. It also doesn't have to load the area as well, which is nice. You just basically rest at the Sculptor Idol and you rinse, slather, and repeat. It's very, very simple, and for folks that just kind of want to take it easy as they farm, I think it's a great location. The second best area in the game that I've found for farming XP is the Ashina Outskirts Stairway Wall. This idol is unlocked after beating Shigeguchi the Red Guard, and what I like about this area is that most of the enemies will give you a fairly decent amount of XP. Most of the enemies will also have their backs turned to you, but what I dislike about this is that you really kind of have to be on your toes, and there's not a lot of room for error. If you, for example, get stun locked by some of the ministry guards into a wall and the camera angle sometimes gets messed up, or you run into fire, it can spell certain doom for you and you'll end up losing XP more so than you're gaining it, especially when you die and you lose half of it. You also have to kind of be careful on the bridge because sometimes the bridge is a random zone where sometimes the soldiers will be taken out, and other times the Ashina soldiers, there'll be 3 snipers, and if all 3 of them are target locked on you, they can stun lock you until you die. So those are areas that I don't typically like as much, but they are very useful. I wanted to show my run simply because a lot of the runs online I see that they don't actually take out 2 guards. Maybe it's because it's hard to get them by surprise, so they tend to be avoided, but I've found that you can take one of them out using the empowered mortal draw, and once he's done, you can just jump over to the other side with a running jump. It has to be a running jump, and then you can get behind the last guard and do a death blow from behind. Overall, this area, New Game Plus, will net about 17,162 experience points per run, which is definitely not bad. If you know what you're doing and you don't make too many careless mistakes, it can be a great place to continue doing farming. However, I think that the Hirata Estate main hall location, after you get the final memory for Owl, I think that's probably going to be the best location in the game that I've found to offer experience farming. What I like most about the Hirata estate is that everything is pretty much on a timed movement. So if you know where everybody's going to be, you can very easily get behind them. And if you do the run exactly like I've done it, you shouldn't have any problems. It may take a little bit of practice at first, but it's just like clockwork for me now. And it nets 22,128 experience points. The one thing you're probably going to be careful about is the second spear bearer within the actual Hirata estate. What he's doing is he's hiding behind a breakable wall, and you can't normally see him. But if you run up to the wall, and instead of running into the wall, you just start chopping through it, you should be able to get through and hit his death blow marker and take him out. What I've found sometimes happens is I run too far, and I end up bumping into him, and then he turns around and is in a caution state, so I don't get the death blow. If you practice it enough times, you should be able to get him just about every time. Well, that's it for the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope it helps. Good luck, Sekiro fans.